All right, good morning everybody and welcome to Tuesday Talk. Thank you so much for showing up. We're going to get started this morning with a presentation from Robin Graham. And when I heard that Robin was going to be joining us and had a presentation, I immediately thought of recycling. But no, it is something new and fresh, and so I'm going to turn it over to Robin. Come on up.
Thank you, Robin.
Hello. Sorry. Okay, we're going to somehow have three hands here.
Some help, Robin?
Y'all familiar with this? Do you know what this is?
Yes.
Does everybody know what this is?
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty wonderful because there have been people here who are weren't around when this was originally invented, and I'd like to explain just a little bit about the evolution of it and how, since it's our program, we can make it better. This is the slideshow. The slideshow is a compilation of photographs taken over the previous month by all of us doing the fun things that we do, who are interested in sharing those photographs with your friends and maybe with the folks that you don't know. So if you weren't able to attend a particular event and you wanted to see what it was all about, well, gosh, you can watch the slideshow and see what happened. Every month, we put it together. Again, it is a compilation of pictures taken by you, us, and that's why I'm asking for your help. All of us pretty much carrying cell phones these days, or an awful lot of us are. If when you're out and about, you see something interesting, take a picture of it and send it to me, either via text or via email, and I will include that because I put these together once a month, and you will see your pictures again, and so will everyone else in both lobbies on a daily basis, running continuously. This is a substitute for photography books that we used to have here. That was the long-term Regency Oaks tradition. It was wonderful, but who's going to maintain it? That's the problem. It's the problem of maintenance on it. I'd love to be able to keep doing it, but this is what we can do. And if you're interested in participating, we'd sure appreciate your help. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a commercial for you. This afternoon, 2 o'clock, right here, Regency Oaks Veterans Association. This is a special, ROVA, because we're honoring those who died in our community in the past year. So I ask you all, take the time, come on back. This afternoon, 2 p.m., special ROVA in honor of those who passed away in our community in the past year. Okay? Thank you.
All right, I have a series of updates, and so we're just going to go through a PowerPoint this morning. And Don, first slide. We're not going to spend a lot of time on COVID, but there's a couple of interesting things that I thought would be worth noting. Look at that positivity rate in Pinellas County. It's 2.05. The flu is now more prevalent in Pinellas County than COVID. And so the numbers just continue to improve week over week, and we track that. We still continue to track that. Instead of doing a daily COVID meeting, we're now down to a weekly COVID meeting where we take a snapshot and see what's happening in Florida and in Pinellas County. We look at the hospitalization rate, the positivity rates. We go and look at the same metrics that we've always looked at, but everything continues to just be very positive. So enough on that slide. Let's go to the next one. I thought this was interesting data to share, and this is from the Centers for Medicare Studies. And so they evaluated input received from all the various skilled nursing centers, assisted living, independent living communities, not just CCRCs, and they gathered this data. And so you can see over a period of time that W stands for week 23, week 24, week 25. And if you look at the blue, that's the percentage of residents living in those product lines and where we stand with vaccination. And you see it's been steadily increasing about 92%. And this is nationwide. About 92% of the individuals residing in senior housing are now vaccinated. And the yellow is the percentage of staff that is vaccinated. And you can see it's half of that. It started about 54% in week 23. And the only thing that I'm showing in this slide is the number of staff vaccinations has continued to increase, and we're up to about 66% nationwide. That's pretty much where Regency Oaks is as well. We've sort of accepted the fact that the 50 some odd young servers that work for us, they're not going to get vaccinated. Their parents have, I think, wisely said, ever since the beginning, the Center for Medicare Studies and CDC have said this virus does not impact young people. And so there's no reason to go and get vaccinated. The second thing that they've said is we don't know the long-term side effects. And parents have said back to me is if you're 80, the long-term consequences are different than the long-term consequences for a 17-year-old. So we're never going to get that last 50 some odd servers up in these numbers. But we continue to see across the country and here at Regency Oaks a weekly improvement in the numbers of vaccination. Another piece of new information that you may not be aware of, we have applied and are in the process of receiving certification to administer the J&J vaccine to all new residents who come into the community. So whether you're moving into skilled nursing or a new resident moving into independent living, we will be able to administer the vaccine right here at Regency Oaks. We'll use our clinical team and the auspices of Omnicare, our pharmacy, in order to provide that vaccination. And that will be ongoing so that as people move in over the months to come, they'll be able to get their vaccine here, just like we do the flu clinics, we'll be able to do the vaccine clinics. Now, that doesn't impact you because you're already here, but it will impact you in September or October, because one of the things that everyone is anticipating is as this mutates, and just like every year you have to get a flu shot because of the mutations, the same thing is probably going to happen with COVID. Every year you're probably going to have to get a COVID shot because there are going to be mutations. So we'll be able not only to offer the flu, but the COVID vaccine right here at Regency Oaks. So that will be a great convenience for residents as we move forward. Next slide. Oops, one back. So here is something that was interesting. Same source, same information that we're looking at. And the first slide on the left is, have you made COVID-19 mandatory for staff? 90% of those assisted living, independent living, CCRCs, skilled nursing, are not making it mandatory. You can see just a small 10% is requiring it, 7% all staff, and 3% is just new hires. And so they're grandfathering in any of the staff, but just new hires. And then of that 90% who said no, if you look at the slide on the right-hand side, if I'm not mandating, what is the likelihood of making it mandatory in the future? And nearly 51% of the respondents said no, we're not going to require it at all. About 37% said we're considering it, and about 12% said, yeah, we're probably going to do it. And so this is just a changing environment in terms of public policy and whether or not you're going to require it moving forward. And I want to show you the next slide, Don. So this is data specifically from residents who reside in LCS communities. And so we did some polling. I didn't do it. This was done at corporate, and it went out to 140 communities, and they did a sampling. They were random phone calls. Did anyone here participate in this room? I have no data or statistics. You did? Okay. So they went and they talked to our residents, and I want to focus in on the bottom 4 bullet points. According to the panelists, the 3 forget that one. Next one down. Nearly all, 98% of the panelists, the people that we interviewed, think that it is important for all community staff to be vaccinated. 1 out of 5, 22% of the panelists, say that they will not allow unvaccinated employees into their apartments. So if a housekeeper or a maintenance worker were to try to come in and do a work order or service your unit, nearly 1 in 5 of our residents are providing feedback that they would not allow someone who has not been vaccinated into their apartment. And then 3/4 of the residents say that they would be more likely to recommend the community to future residents if all employees were vaccinated. So that's just some updated statistical data of what you and your neighbors are saying here in the LCS communities. And where we stand right now is we are evaluating data. And you can see that we have started a process of reaching out to residents and asking for their feedback as we try to formulate a position for the company. So I don't have a position to share with you today, but what I can share is this appears to be a pretty significant driver in terms of residents. And so there will be more discussion on this as we move forward. But this is a pretty good look at where our residents are feeling right now. Okay.
That first bullet point is interesting too.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
So all right. So extraordinary impressions. Now, Regency Oaks is sort of unique. It's every year we publish 5 objectives. One of the objectives that we're focusing on is to introduce extraordinary impressions. So I would hope at this point we're 4 or 5 months into the process and that most of you would know what extraordinary impressions is. But not all of the 140 communities have prioritized extraordinary impressions. So when you look at the data, you just have to keep in mind that it's a broad group that they went out and interviewed. It wasn't just Regency Oaks residents, and so that perhaps is why we're getting that reading. All right. The great pool debate has been decided. And where is Don Hamilton? Are you here? Don! Oh, thank you very much. A wise man. He was able to build a consensus with all of our end users, whether you are exercising for therapy and like it a little warmer, or exercising for exercise and swimming laps and like it a little cooler. Don and his committee were able to find a solution, reach across the table, and compromise. Compromise is a dying art in America, but Don was able to pull it out, and here are the new settings. The pool is set at 87, and the spa is set at 104. And so we did that last week, and Don, you have the gratitude from all the residents for a job well done.
We'll take Fix those lines.
All right, next slide. Let's see what we're talking about next. Construction update. I've got something interesting here. Next slide. So this letter was dated the 19th of May. You can see it has my signature. This is the official notification to the county that we are starting the construction of the town hall. So it is now completely official. These additional dates, I have no idea what all the random dots are, but construction mobilization is scheduled to start on July 15th. And what that means is they'll bring the construction trailers out, they'll erect the perimeter fence, they'll start taking down the trees, they'll start doing the soil samples, laying out the prints and the surveying, and then the actual physical vertical construction is currently scheduled for August 15th. And that may move up a few days or back a few days. And construction completion is now scheduled for March of 2022. So we are moving forward, and that's exciting news to be able to share. Next slide. Now, I know that my last fitness slide was a little on the aggressive side. This one isn't any better. But here's, as we play this, there are just a couple of things I want you to look at. We're going to show you in the fitness center, in the center are all the core strength machines. Around the perimeter are all the cardio machines, whether it's a new step or a treadmill, all the cardio is on the perimeter. And on each and every one of the cardiac machines, there is a 15 to 19 inch TV that is really capable of doing great things. And so this video, which is very aggressive, will show you some of the features. There will be, here's what I'd like you to look for. You'll see a rotation of Twitter, Facebook, all the different CNN, all the different places that you can go on the actual TV. You'll see what it's capable of. You'll see some headphones. That means it's integrated Wi-Fi with headphones. It will tie to your Fitbit, your Galaxy, or your Apple phone. It is completely Wi-Fi. It will give you, you'll see a lot of scenes. There will be some walking paths or running paths up through the mountains or in the top of the world up in Zurich. And you'll be able to run with that environment. It also has the Pendleton, or what's the Peloton? Peloton app that you can ride with an instructor and people from all over the world. So it just has a lot of capabilities. It's state-of-the-art, high technology, and it's very aggressive. But let's go ahead and Don, if you hit that. So again, very nice addition to all of our cardio machines because they are so capable of doing anything that you'd like to be able to do with them. The one other thing I didn't mention, but you maybe saw.
Today's buyers and renters have no shortage of options. That's why offering features that fit your residents' active lifestyle matter more than ever before.
So the one other thing that I didn't mention, you maybe saw someone take their Apple Watch and put it up to the screen. And so what it does is it will instantly send the data from the machine onto your Fitbit, Apple Watch, or Galaxy Watch, so that if you're tracking your steps and your pulse and your heartbeat, that data is transferable. You also saw there was a list of names toward the end. Those are individuals that you can write against that may live in Seattle or Cincinnati or Hong Kong. And you'll be able to climb up that leaderboard and put yourself at the top. So exciting. All right, next slide here. Okay. Does anyone remember Betty Breton, who was our skilled nursing home administrator next door, who passed away about 6 years ago? It's hard to believe it's already been 6 years. So Betty Breton was a skilled nursing home administrator, and she was here for a number of years, did a great job. She passed away from cancer, and Rance Macy replaced her. But her father is a guy by the name of William Johnson, and her father graduated in 1919. Grandfather graduated in 1919 from the Chicago Institute of Art, and he has left a gallery of about 30 oil prints to Regency Oaks. And he was certainly not a Rembrandt, but he also was a pretty well-renowned and established artist. So we're really excited to be able to get these original oils, and we'll be looking to add a spot to showcase them here at the community. All right, and I think that's it. Yes, request or a reminder to all of our dog owners, if you are walking Fido, please do not walk your dogs along the building. And we do that out of respect for our other residents. Nobody wants to be out on their lanai having breakfast and a coffee and have Fido come and do his business. So please, I know it's a few extra steps, but our dogs need to go to the perimeter road where they're clear and free of the building, and we're being respectful of other residents. Update on the pizza oven. So we have reached a resolution that is not going to require construction at all. We think this is the best compromise, and we're satisfied with the solution. And so here is the way that is going to work. What the objection was to the food prep area. It was not the ovens. And as you think about that, it makes a lot of sense. The ovens are 1,000 degrees, and if there's a fly, a gnat, a bug, an insect, they're going to die instantly. The heat will keep that area free and clear of insects. But that's not true of the prep area. And so we were really running up against a dead end in terms of what the Department of Business and Professional Regulations were going to require. And so we've reached a compromise. And here's the compromise. The pizza will be made in the tavern indoors, where we have a license to run and operate as a restaurant. That prep will be done inside the tavern. The pie will be put into a box, a pizza box. It will be taken out to the oven, put in the oven, fired off, taken out, put back in the box, and delivered to the table from wherever it was ordered. And so all we will have to do is not do the preparation outdoors in an unlicensed restaurant area. And so it's not ideal, but it is something we can work with, and something that Ricky and Chef and I believe is a compromise that is fair and reasonable. So I'm not going to steal Ricky's thunder, but if you were to attend Dish Talk this week, you might expect to hear more about when the pizza oven is going to become operational, and we'll start providing that new service to Regency Oaks. So look for that at Dish Talk this week. All right, I think that is all I have, and I'm going to open it up for any questions.
Here you go, dear.
I have a question. Have you given any consideration to a new picture directory? Looking through our old one, there are so many people that have passed away, and we don't have pictures of the new people who have come in.
Do you have any update on that? Is it due this year?
Well, we wanted to do it last year, and then COVID came along. We actually met with the person.
Hold on. Why don't you come up here and let's get on camera. And we're going to get Lauren Rose up here. She is the master of the calendar, and ask her to comment on this. Lauren.
Thank you, Brant. So last year, we had the representative from Life Touch come in and meet with myself and some of the prior photo directory committee members that have offered to help again. And of course, we will be recruiting additional people for help. So right now, I have not contacted them again, since obviously we're just started recently lifting restrictions and having people coming in to the community. Chris Swanson approached me this morning, telling me that residents have been asking him what's going on with an updated resident photo directory. And it is on the horizon. It is something that's on the list. Right now, honestly, my priority is getting the hurricane manual updated for this year, and to sit down and discuss what the game plan is for having people come in and having residents in tighter quarters to have the photographs taken. But it is not off the table. It is something that is in the works, in the plan, on the schedule. Thank you.
Do we have a hurricane date?
Yes.
Yeah, we have a town hall. It's,
Why don't you announce that
was
as
it
well?
the 9th?
Hold on. We have an announcement. We'll clean all this up.
It's June 9th
It is the 9th.
at 10 a.m.
So
Town
if you
Hall.
just do a public service now.
Okay, so we have our annual hurricane and disaster meeting scheduled for June 9th in Town Hall
At 10 a.m.
at 10 a.m. So I encourage everyone to join us. There's a lot of valuable information that we'll be talking about, especially for our new residents, of how we prepare here and what kind of preparations you'll be expected to take care of.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, Laura.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Questions? Chris?
I do like the town I live in. I've talked to a couple of residents who are concerned about Spectrum and when things are gonna transfer or change. You know, will I still be able to keep it? Will that affect my internet? Can I keep it? Do I have to put in whatever new one is? So there's a lot of questions coming out there about Spectrum.
Yeah, and so here's what I would tell you about Spectrum. Our contract with Spectrum expires in July, and we are negotiating with Spectrum. We are negotiating with Frontier and another company called Centrix, and there are a lot of different options that we can look at. But here's what you need to know as residents. Your individual contract is with Spectrum. and I don't pay your TV. You pay for your TV directly to Spectrum. You will always have that option available to you. The question is, can I provide a better service, a quicker, more reliable service with more options at a better price? That's the question. And so we are going to try to find a solution to that, but residents will always have the choice to do nothing and stay with Spectrum, or to step up and get a quicker, faster internet with true high-def TV as opposed to an analog signal that's converted to a digital box. That's the Spectrum solution right now. So at this point, I don't need you to do anything, but just relax. And sometime in July, we'll be back with options, but please know that you'll always have the option to do nothing and stay with your current provider.
Hang on, Judy. I know you ladies like to speak, so now speak.
I just have a question over what Brent just said. I thought that Regency Oaks provided basic TV, and if we wanted to upgrade, we paid for the upgrade.
Yeah. So it still continue exactly the same situation. And so nothing would change with that. But you know, it's like, but here's the reality. Here's what's really going to happen. We're going to select a provider. I don't know who it's going to be. It could be Spectrum. I'm going to push whoever that provider is for a better contract, better service. Right now, the Spectrum cable is going out on a 50-year-old coax cable that the cavemen had back in Egypt. And if you want that kind of quality picture, okay, I'm not going to force you to change it, but I'm going to be able to give you a better picture, a faster, more reliable internet at a better price and improved service. Why wouldn't you change? But for those traditionalists who just don't like change, you will have the ability to stay with Spectrum and not have to do anything.
Any other questions?
I have a quick update.
Oh, we have a quick update. I am so sorry. I completely forgot about Tiffany. I'm going to turn this over to her.
Good morning. I wanted to let you know that we have posted all of our trips and activities on the 15th of each month. So in June 15th, you will get all of July's activities. So since we're going back to a busier lifestyle, we want you to be able to plan ahead. We want you to be able to go on those trips before you make your medical appointments or you take a trip or something along those lines. So if you have somewhere that you would like to go, we're going to post it the 15th before the month upcoming. So again, June 15th will be when we post for our July trips. Also, just a reminder, please make sure to sign up for the transportation shopping trips. I know sometimes it can be spontaneous, like, oh, I need to get eggs or I need to get milk. But if anything, just call down to the front desk to Glenn. His extension is 304. He'll be more than happy to add you to the list. The biggest thing is that it's a safety issue. If we take 6 people to Publix, we want to make sure 6 people are signed up so 6 people come back from Publix. We don't want anyone to get left there. So please make sure, if you can, please sign up. Even if you just leave us a voicemail and be like, hey, please, I would love to go to Publix. We just need to make sure that you're at least written down somewhere so that when we come back, we have everyone back at the community. Okay, also just upcoming, we have the Jammers this Friday, the kickoff Memorial Day weekend. They will be in the Grand Lobby North at 7 p.m. As well as very great news, Larry's Accessories is coming back. He will be here June 15th, so make sure to mark that in your calendar. He will be here June 15th. Bring all of your watches that you've been waiting to be repaired, all of those sorts. It will be on the Monday memo as well as the whiteboard. But if anyone needed to know ahead of time, Larry's Accessories will be here June 15th. Great. Also, other great news, we will be picking back up with vocal cords. Do we have any vocal cords members in here? Awesome, thank you. Wonderful. So we will be picking back up with vocal cords. We have a new instructor. He was recommended to us by Johanna. He works very closely with Ruth Eckert Hall with Jack Holloway. So he's going to be a fantastic addition to the team. He will be here next Wednesday. That's going to be June 2nd. It will be in Grand Lobby South at 1 o'clock. Same time we always did it. He'll be here and introducing himself. We'll get back into our new regimen. But if anything, this really seals the deal that Regency Oaks is back to our new normal. Yes, ma'am, Ms.
Can we
Lyon.
afford them?
Can we say it again?
Can we afford them?
We sure can.
Okay.
We can. Any other questions about activities or anything? Yes, ma'am.
Tiffany, I noticed on the sign up for the trips.
Yes, ma'am.
that it's more than sign up. It's the regular sign up and the waiting list.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
the waiting list is a mile long.
Yes, so that's a great question. What she asked is that how do we handle waiting lists? If we have a trip to St. Pete Pier and we have 40 people signed up, how will we handle that? We'll take 2 buses.
Okay.
Yes, so that's an accommodation, and that's also another reason why we are putting the sign-ups out prior, so that if we do need 2 drivers, we will always make sure to accommodate that. That's a great question. Yes, ma'am.
Could you put a slide on TV that has the days and hours you go to Publix?
Yes, I thought it was up there, but I'll make sure to do that. I know it's also included in the Oaks, so we'll make sure to put it on the TV. I saw our question over here. Okay, well, thank you so much. Activities are off to a great start, and I'll let Brent close us out.
Any other questions, any other comments?
I'm pretty loud. Okay. I actually was walking around and using the kiosks, you know, where you work out on the kiosk. Almost all of them are rusted out. And is there some way we can get those fixed? Because it's probably not very safe.
So, great question. The life stations around the campus, the internal panels have begun to rust out, and Darwin has already ordered them. So they, like everything else related to COVID, it's going to be 12 to 16 weeks. But yes, great observation. Thank you for sharing.
Okay, any other comments or questions? Don't forget, Roebuck, 2 o'clock, here, Memorial Day ceremony. Come on back at 2. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, everybody.